मैंने उनको कहा था कि सर ये तो कमर्शियल फिल्म है, तो उन्होंने कहा तो कमर्शियल फिल्में करोगे नहीं? मतलब कभी कभी होता है ना, ये अंकल को पहचाना नहीं। When I see some kids doing reels of Pushpa, कि मैं झुकेगा नहीं साला and all that, I feel very happy. Yeah, there are a couple of films in the pipeline. I'm working on a couple of projects. That is when you feel that okay, now is your time. This is your scene. What are you going to do with this scene? अच्छी है यार, interesting है. मतलब तेरा रोल तो बहुत ही बढ़िया है, लेकिन कहानी भी जिस तरीके से डायरेक्टर ने किया है, हमें कभी कभी चीज अच्छी नहीं लगती, बट लोगों को शायद पसंद आ जाए।
Well, it is always fun, like literally always fun to chat with those actors who are literally candid, honest, and upfront. And what better name than popping in your head would be Shreyas Talpade? Well, yes, today is my lucky day, or better, your lucky day, because आज टेली चक्कर पे exclusively मेरे यानी विशाखा पांडे के साथ जुड़ेंगे Shreyas Talpade. Well, he's going to be talking about a lot: his journey, his career, his failed projects, his success, and what not. So yes, without wasting a lot of time, let's call Shreyas and see क्या कुछ बताना चाहते हैं वो आज हमारी इस chat में. Well, I would say firstly, welcome on Telechakra, Shreyas sir, and it's a pleasure having you here. And after seeing the Pushpa ka trend, seeing you here is like, oh, he's the same one. But exactly. But how has the journey been for you?
Well, phenomenal, to say the least. I never, in my wildest ever dreams, that I thought that I would be a part of this huge Hindi film industry, and I would get to debut with a film like Iqbal. And then with all the love, appreciation, all the blessings, all the good wishes, all the ups, all the downs, everything that happened, of which were great. Some didn't really work in my favor. But all in all, I think I'm very happy today, because I think every failure also, in fact, every failure teaches you more than what your success does. There have been tough times, but now when some of your films, some of your work is appreciated, then of course you feel very good about it. So the journey, I guess, in a way, there's a new journey that has just begun. So I'm looking forward to that one now.
But then tell me one thing very honestly, because लोगों को लगता है जब वो actors को देखते हैं कि अरे इनकी life तो perfect है, इनकी life में कभी कुछ low हो ही नहीं सकता. But then as you just said that there have been lows, there have been highs. But जब lows आते थे, आप अपने आप को motivate कैसे करते थे? What is that one mantra that you used to follow?
Honestly कहूँ तो यार बड़ा मुश्किल होता है. मतलब सभी के लिए बड़ा मुश्किल होता है. ऐसा कोई मंत्रा उस वक्त कुछ काम नहीं आता. Basically, I think what really helps you at that point in time is your family. Is your family supporting you, through that particular phase in life? Because जब चीजें नहीं वर्क होती तो आप चाहे कुछ भी कर लो, वो नहीं वर्क होती. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आप कुछ भी नहीं करेंगे. इसका मतलब ये कि आप और कोशिश करते रहेंगे. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जब मैंने ये कौन प्रवीण तांबे फिल्म की, जब उनके बारे में मैंने सुना, तो उनकी कहानी से एक चीज सीखी कि यार ये बंदा 100 बार गिरा और 100 बार उठा. मतलब बिना कुछ सोचे वोचे वो बस उठा एंड ही स्टार्टेड ट्राइंग अगेन. So that is all that you can do, and that is what you should keep doing till the time is right for you. And believe me, ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता किसी के लाइफ में. ये मैं मतलब लिख के दे सकता हूँ, दावे के साथ कह सकता हूँ कि आप कोशिश किए जा रहे हैं और आपको सक्सेस नहीं मिले, ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता. कब मिले, कैसे मिले, ये मैं बता नहीं सकता, लेकिन आप कोशिश कर रहे हैं और आपको सक्सेस नहीं मिले, ये नहीं हो सकता.
You've done a lot of films, but then as I just said, Iqbal, but then I would say Iqbal से भी पहले आपने पहले TV shows करे, if I'm not wrong, Marathi soap operas and Hindi soap operas. So मुझे सही में बताइएगा, so the time when you actually thought of switching from those daily soaps to movies and to Bollywood and the mainstream thing, आपके मन में वो हिचकिचाहट थी, or you were very sure of, okay, let me just try this new thing, or were you what was it like?
I was not sure of anything. Actually, at that point in time, the only thing that I was sure of was that I want to enjoy my work. मैं थिएटर कर रहा था, और उस वक्त I remember एक हमारा शो था जो बड़ा पॉपुलर था. It was a play called All the Best, and मैंने उसके करीब 1000-1200 shows किए. And then there came a point where I started feeling very, stagnated. I felt कि यार बस हो गया. अब there's nothing new happening. I'm not enjoying my work. And that's the time when I quit that show and I started trying for some other work. And that time television thoda sa, boom ho raha tha, Marathi, Hindi, different satellite channels. So I got an opportunity in one Marathi channel, in one Marathi show. And that show was already popular. तो हमारी एंट्री के बाद हमें भी वो पॉपुलैरिटी का थोड़ा सा पोर्शन उसका मिला. And people started recognizing. So I started enjoying my work more. Then came a point जब टीवी भी डेली सोप्स करते थे, तो डेली सोप्स करते 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 3 साढ़े 3 साल में ऐसा हो गया कि यार अब बोर होने लग गया, अब कुछ और करना है. That is the time when we started trying for films, and I quit TV
Yeah.
again. Again, there was nothing which was planned. Yeah, there was nothing which I really had with me. कि ये फिल्म आ रही है इसीलिए टीवी छोड़ता हूँ, ऐसा कुछ नहीं था.
No.
बट मैंने सोचा कि यार इसमें मजा नहीं आ रहा अब. अब मुझे कुछ और करना चाहिए, और कोशिश करते हैं. सो आई क्विट टीवी and I started trying for films.
Has it ever happened that you've taken up a project, but then, you were not really sure about it, but for the heck of it, so that, the work continues, the audience gets to see you regularly. Us purpose ke liye, have you taken any project aaj tak kabhi?
Yes. I mean, there are no two ways about it. मैंने कभी audience get to see me के लिए फिल्म नहीं की. कुछ फिल्में which I was not convinced about, but then, you are a new guy in the industry. You probably don't know the ways of the industry, and you're trying to figure out a lot of things on your own. So obviously you tend to do a lot of mistakes also on your own, but that's okay.
Yes.
So I did a few films because certain friends, said that ये करनी चाहिए. But जब कहानी सुनी थी तो मुझे I was not completely convinced about it. तो कभी किसी सीनियर ने कह लिया कि यार ये पिक्चर कर लेनी चाहिए. ऐसा भी हुआ है कि दोस्तों ने या सीनियर्स ने जो फिल्में कभी कहीं सजेस्ट की, वो वर्क भी की है. For example,
Yes.
Subhaji suggested that I should do अपना सपना बनी बनी, and तभी मेरे जहन में बिल्कुल नहीं था. मैंने उनको कहा था कि सर ये तो कमर्शियल फिल्म है. तो उन्होंने कहा तो कमर्शियल फिल्में करोगे नहीं. I did that film, it worked, and the song worked big time. आज भी कहीं जाता हूँ तो देखा जो तुझे यार प्ले होता है. बट कई फिल्में ऐसी भी है जो मैंने किसी के सजेशन से, या सीनियर है या दोस्त है या ऐसे मान के की, and those haven't worked. So I have started believing in the fact that दिल से आपको वो चीज अच्छी लगनी चाहिए, तभी आप 100% उसमें रहते हैं.
Tell me one thing, how does it feel now that you've crossed so many years in the industry, you've done so many different roles and still so much yet to be played, I would say, and at least you have the liberty of choosing what you want to see or where you want to see yourself. Does that feeling still sink into your heart, or do you feel sometimes कि ये सपना है कि सच, वो वाला feeling होता है कि नहीं?
नहीं, सपना है कि सच तो अभी भी होता रहता है, especially for a film like Pushpa, for example. The kind of appreciation that I got for Pushpa, for dubbing that particular film, ये आज भी ऐसा लगता है कि सपना है कि सच. Because मैंने तो बिल्कुल नहीं सोचा था सपने में भी कि यार ऐसा कुछ हो जाएगा उस फिल्म के साथ. So अच्छा लगता है. Again, with a film like Kaun Praveen Tambe, being an actor, to portray that kind of a character on screen, or Iqbal, or Golmaal Returns, or Welcome to Sajjanpur. So all these films are very, very dear to me, because as an actor, you get to explore so much more, and you get to try out so much more. You get to, in fact, try yourself out as an actor. कि मैं कर सकता हूँ कि नहीं कर सकता हूँ.
But what is that one genre or maybe one character जो आपके मन में आपको लगता है कि मुश्किल होगा, लेकिन challenging होने के साथ साथ मुझे try जरूर करना है?
मुझे लगता है नेगेटिव प्ले करना ना हमेशा थोड़ा मुश्किल रहता है. कि कभी-कभी मुझे लगता है कि डर में शाहरुख खान नेगेटिव थे, लेकिन बोलते हैं ना कि भाव खा गए. So it was a very tricky character to portray, that this guy is really making life miserable for the girl, but yet people loved him. So that's a very tricky line to walk on. So मुझे लगता है वैसे characters, negative characters, which people also like, and at the same time he's menacing enough कि people feel कि यार ये मरना चाहिए. तो वैसा play करना is very difficult.
If I talk about, let's say, Iqbal, if I talk about Golmaal, if I talk about Apna Sapna, all these characters, or maybe Kaun Naveen Tambe also, how do you approach a role?
I basically want the writer or the director to narrate me the subject first.
Oh,
so
okay.
I find it very, of course I read it, but I first want them to narrate it to me, the way they've written it, the way they've thought of it. वो writer जब narrate करता है तो automatically आपको your half of your work is already done, because आपको film सामने सामने दिख जाती है कि अच्छा ऐसे कुछ दिखेगी, ये मेरा रोल होगा, ये ऐसे ऐसे बोल रहा है, and then when you start reading it is when you start, you're working on that particular character. So मुझे अच्छा लगता है. मैं इसीलिए narrations मुझे अच्छी लगती है कि राइटर से कहता हूँ कि आप आओ, बेशक 2 घंटे लगे, लेकिन बैठ के आप मुझे पहले पूरी कहानी सुनाओ, उसके बाद आगे बात करेंगे.
Who is that one director or maybe a writer who's like the most easiest to work with according to you?
Easiest मैं कहूँगा वैसे रोहित gives me a lot of freedom to improvise. Of course, he's also very strict about certain things, but at the same time, Rohit throws a lot of challenges at me. every time with every Golmaal series, if you notice,
Yes.
पहले में एक अलग थोड़ा कैरेक्टर, देन दूसरे में गोलमाल 3 में थोड़ा स्टैमर, गोलमाल अगेन में थोड़ा लिस्ट. तो ऐसे वो कुछ ना कुछ हमेशा challenges थ्रो करता रहता है. And at the same time, he also gives me a lot of freedom to improvise. Similarly, I guess even Shyam Babu, Shyam Benegal sir, मुझे जब काम हमने शुरू किया तो ऐसे लगा था कि श्याम सर के साथ बड़े स्ट्रिक्ट होंगे and he'll be very particular about certain things. But the kind of freedom that he gave me to perform was phenomenal. You know, उसके वजह से I could perform a lot better than what I usually would. Similarly, I think Jaiprad Desai, not an easy director to work with, but one of the sweetest guys. You know, the best part about him is he understands he will meet you, you know, 1,000 times before you start shooting, and he would just try and study you entirely. So he knows you in and out. He knows your strengths, he knows your weaknesses, and then he knows exactly what to tap to get the best out of me. I think that's his strength.
Tell me one thing, बच्चे मन के सच्चे होते हैं. So has it happened that like, you know, your kids or your family has just given you like the unbiased, unfiltered opinion of your work? And is there any work of yours that you wouldn't want them to see?
Hello, kids. In fact, you know, you said the right thing, because I particularly look forward to what reaction a kid gives to my work, because that is the most honest, like you said, very unbiased, very honest, very blunt at times. मतलब कभी-कभी होता है ना, ये अंकल को पहचाना नहीं. ये गोलमाल में थे नहीं, ये नहीं थे. but जब उनको याद आता है तो कहते हैं हाँ, there's a smile on their face. And I think that's why, you know, even when I see some kids doing reels of Pushpa, कि मैं झुकेगा नहीं साला and all that, I feel very happy that उनको जो चीज अच्छी लगती है वो अपना लेते हैं. Okay, और उनको जो नहीं अच्छी लगती वो उसके तरफ ध्यान भी नहीं देंगे. कहीं भी whenever I travel, I really look forward to, you know, kids coming and meeting me, because for me that's the true parameter of whether your work is really reaching out to your audience.
But then what kind of feedback do you get from the family?
My wife, especially my cousins, my brothers, they are quite critical of my work, and I would prefer that to be so, because, you know, I don't want anybody saying good things about me when I'm on screen. I want them to, you know, really notice the drawbacks and the weaknesses and tell me about those. So my wife, my cousin, my elder brother, they always keep telling me about these things. My kid, she's just 4 now. She turned 4 years. So she now, in fact, she started watching a few of my songs here and there. And yeah. So
does she say that Papa is on the screen? Does she do that thing?
Yeah. Earlier, in fact, she would say, Dada, Dada. And earlier, in fact, whenever she would see any hero on screen and she would say, Dada, Dada. So I would tell her, no, beta, this is not Dada. This is Ranveer uncle or Ranbir uncle, or, you know, Shahrukh uncle.
But then कोई ऐसा प्रोजेक्ट आपका जो आप उनको शायद नहीं दिखाना चाहेंगे in the near future?
अब तक तो ऐसा कोई है नहीं कि मैं उसे नहीं दिखाना चाहूंगा. आगे का पता नहीं. You know, all my work has been pretty UA certification, or rather U certification, I would say, barring probably a couple of films. But otherwise, so all the films have been family entertainers, so no issues with that.
Shreyas, I'm very curious of one thing about actors, okay? And I think I can ask you that thing. So there's this very basic question that, you know, we journalists ask actors, what next? Agla project kya? And there are times when there is nothing in the kitty, but then the actors say that, you know, there's a lot in the pipeline and, you know, type of that thing. Have you ever done that thing? Have you ever done that thing?
Yeah, of course. Of course, all of us do that. And you're rightly said. No, but that's a fact. You know, there are times when there's really nothing, and say that, yeah, there are a couple of films in the pipeline. I'm working on a couple of projects. I'm reading a few scripts, and you know, I guess I'll talk about it more when we actually go on floors. कुछ नहीं है बेटा तेरे पास सारे actors नहीं, but yes, I have done that quite a few times when I didn't really have. बीच का phase एक ऐसा था when I didn't really have you know, any films with me. But yes, what do you say? You know, what are your forthcoming films? So obviously you want your fans to probably feel that kuch na kuch to aayega. So yeah, we look forward to that. But yes, we tend to do that.
How do you react to these articles or maybe news when they are written about you and, you know, they're apparently these fake rumors?
I'm actually a pretty short-tempered kind of guy. I have been always very forthright and honest about most things that have happened with me or my career or my life. So then when you read something which is not true, is when you really get pissed off. But yes, thanks to my wife and my team around me, they tend to just calm me down, saying that it's okay, यार, this is rubbish. हम जितना इस पे ज्यादा ध्यान देंगे वो ज्यादा flare up होगा. उससे अच्छा है कि let it just die its own death.
But then, have you ever read something very hilarious about yourself, like a news or an article that's super hilarious?
Yeah, not that there aren't many actually, but even I tend to read and understand कि कितनी है भाई मेरी net worth, पता तो चले. और अंदर कुछ
और
और
अगर
ही
नॉर्मल
बनता
से
ही रहता
ज्यादा है तो प्लीज मुझे भी दे दो थोड़ी सी, इट इज वहां पे है. But then,
कहाँ है, कहाँ छुपा के रखी है, दे दो यार.
Shreyas, I would love to know here because, seeing how the trends came up and, you touch wood have, you're reaching the heights and, the fans are now expecting a lot आपसे अब आगे, and I'm hoping very, very good work is also coming across us. Does the screen space bother you? How is it that you approach all those things?
Screen space has never
Yes.
really mattered me. I mean, for me personally, it is that particular part, and what you do with that part is what is most important. For example, like in Door was
Yes.
the story of these two women, right? And here this Behrupiya जो technically आके एक लड़की की help करता है for her to reach her destination. So that part was a great part, in terms of screen time. He comes on screen after almost 40-45 minutes,
Yeah.
but when he comes, the kind of character that Nagesh gave me, the kind of improvisations that we did, and I really want to thank him for that, because he gave me a lot of freedom, a lot of liberty to just improvise and do whatever I felt like. And that is when you feel that, okay, now is your time, this is your scene, what are you going to do with this scene? Having said that, I we've always been taught in theater कि अगर किसी और का scene है, so as a team member, you should do everything in your capacity to make sure that it remains the scene. Just compliment ले कि यार वो actor अपना scene वैसे perform नहीं कर रहा है. Then it's up to you whether you want to take that scene or not.
Have you ever received like a fake compliment from someone when you know that, they don't mean it, but they have complimented your work or maybe something that you've signed? Or have you given anyone that kind of a feedback?
There are times when, especially when you invite some of your friends or colleagues for a preview show of your film, there are times when they don't really like it. They come in front of you and they look at you and you look at them, and poor guys, they don't have any other choice but to say good things about you and the film. अच्छी है यार, interesting है, मतलब तेरा रोल तो बहुत ही बढ़िया है, लेकिन कहानी भी जिस तरीके से डायरेक्टर ने किया है, and then they will start talking about a particular shot because there's nothing else to speak about. So they'll tell you वो shot ना बड़ा अच्छा था. So yes, we also tend to do it, but there is still hope. You still want to give that person some hope that you never know, because we are not gods. We don't know कल वो फिल्म का रिलीज होने के बाद क्या होने वाला है. हाँ, हमें कभी कभी चीज अच्छी नहीं लगती, बट लोगों को शायद पसंद आ जाए.
Well, I would say in the last that, seeing that you've been a part of Marathi, then now Pushpa, then now Hindi cinema, Hindi soap operas, and then fans expecting a lot out of you, Shreyas. Regional cinema ko aapne ek tarike se na, you've started overtaking it. It seems that way around. I think you're wanting to do everything towards all of it so that everybody should only focus on Shreyas Talpade. What else are we looking out for in the near future? What is expected out of your kitty out there, I would say?
So there are a few films in the pipeline. I'm working on a few scripts, and I'm
I trust you on that one.
Basically, no, but God has been kind. Yes, there are a few scripts that I'm reading. I haven't really locked any. There are two films which I have liked. In principle, said yes to those films. I just hope that they make it the way we see it. But apart from that, there is a film that I am directing and acting in. It's called Sarkar Ki Seva Mein. It's a cute little film, slice of life kind of story, which is inspired from a true incident, apparently. But wo hai. Otherwise, I'm just spending time with family.
How was it, directing and acting both at the same time? How difficult or how easy was it for you?
Big salute to all those actor directors, who direct and act at the same time. It is difficult. It is really, really difficult. And I have decided that, if I'm directing a film, then ideally I wouldn't act in it, because I think direction takes a lot out of you. To focus on the direction part and then to focus on your character is very difficult. So yeah, I did it first with Poster Boys Hindi, and now I'm doing it again with Sarkar Ki Seva Mein. I just want to enjoy that particular thing that I'm. So when I'm acting, I really enjoy my acting. Similarly, I felt that whenever I'm directing, I will only direct and not act in that particular film.
But at least I will see this one, because the way you're saying, you've directed and you've acted. Let me see that how well this has come out to be. But Shreyas, it was a pleasure having you here. I hope you enjoyed talking to me. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. See ya. Good night. Good night. Take care.
So ये तो थे Shreyas Talpade, and I think I have had one of the most candid conversations with an actor. That would be Shreyas Talpade. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching today's chat session with me and also Shreyas sir. And I really hope that you guys will also keep supporting and also keep watching whatever he's going to get indeed for you people out there. तब तक के लिए Telechakkar को follow, subscribe करते रहिए for all the more updates about the tele world.
Know all about the tele world by subscribing to Telechakkar's YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay updated to our new videos.